To our rolling coverage on the elections that are taking place in Kerala, Puducherry and Assam. Now, it's an important day because Kerala can make history if left gets a third term. It's very important for the Congress if they come back because they have lost 10 years. And if Kerala Congress wins, then BJP is out of power in all the states. Puducherry, it's also very important, small states, but then just tell you whether Congress party has enough of itself to take back states, because once it loses, it can end up losing states for multiple years, multiple tenures. For example, Congress continues to lose Gujarat. So that's something problematic for the Congress party. It needs to get back in an alternative way. And Assam, it will be out of power for 15 years. And that will prove to be a big challenge. And Sandeep Pukan joins me, Deputy Editor Hindu. Thank you, Sandeep. Thoya continues to be with me. Gautam continues to be with me. Vijesh continues to be with me. And I'll be joined by Vajji from Bangalore. But let me straight away go to Sandeep first. Sandeep, let's talk about this election from a national perspective, because BJP turns every election into sort of a contest. So nationally speaking, if all these political parties opposed to BJP do well, will it have any bearing in Delhi?
Yes, of course. I mean, it'll have a bearing in Delhi for both parties. But look, from the perspective of the Congress, their best case scenario is Kerala, right? They are a marginal player or a non-player in West Bengal. They are a junior ally in Tamil Nadu. But the other, state where they would be hoping to sort of buck the trend and eventually come to power would be my home state, Assam. As you rightly said, if they were to lose this election, then they would be out of power for 15 years. Already, the organization, apart from Kerala, the other state where the Congress organization used to be extremely strong was Assam. That is no longer the case. So they would want a revival there. But look at it this way: if they lose Assam and if they don't perform very well, then in that case, there's nothing much to talk about in terms of the party's national revival. On the other hand, if BJP were to win or win only Assam and lose in Bengal, they don't have a chance in Tamil Nadu. It doesn't look like that the AIDMK is doing very well. They are certainly not going to come to power in Kerala. So Puducherry is another state where, their NR Congress, their ally, part of the NDA. So if the BJP manages to win only one state and Puducherry, then in that case, the opposition can say that, look, we scored 3-2 or 4-1, and they will try and put pressure on the Congress, on the BJP, on the ruling party. So it will have national implications both ways. See, because it gives you a momentum. If you win 2 or 3 states, the ruling party, but of course the prize catch would be Bengal if they can. If that happens, then the entire equation changes, Karthike.
Okay. Price catch.
Then, the biggest prize, I would say, in all of this for the BJP is Bengal. And that's why, the party has gone out on a limb to win the election. And so is the Trinamool Congress. It's fighting with its back to the wall, but it's trying very hard. And that's the prize catch for both sides. For both sides.
Vijesh, price catch is West Bengal?
Yeah, goes.
They have given up on Tamil Nadu and Kerala?
Goes without saying. They're not much of a player in both Tamil Nadu and Kerala. They know that. Like a party, they're trying their level best to score, more, get more seats and increase the voting percentage, so they stay relevant and to fight for another day. I think there are only 2 states which matter that way for BJP. A, winning Assam by a big margin, because if they're able to scrape through, that is also one narrative which will not go down well in the center and also in the state, because Himanta Biswa Sarma is also projected himself as a larger than life image, and also the fact that he's seen as someone within the BJP pantheon that he's one of the few chief ministers who could be in the reckoning, the next gen as far as the race of prime minister, next candidate, prime ministerial candidate is concerned. West Bengal is the most important state. The reason why is that BJP has been trying their level best to win the state of West Bengal at any cost.
Okay.
The home minister has parked himself for 15 days in the state of West Bengal, and this gives you an idea of how important the state is for the BJP.
Vaji, I have a question for you in context of Kerala. If you look at the narrative, last year it was all about that there were difference of opinion between the Christian and the Muslim communities, both in the social and the cultural realm. So has that been reconciled? If there is a difference, who benefits from it? And we have spoken about the Christian constituency. Where are Muslims going to vote in Kerala?
Well, traditionally, if we see, Muslims have been with the UDF and the IUML, and that is where their edge has always been there. But this time around, you are seeing a few of them moving towards the left also because of the governance that they've seen in the last few years with regards to how the COVID situation was handled. And during the Wayanad landslide, we had seen the entire Malappuram region, which is a part of a very strong Muslim belt, saw a great presence of the left community coming together, helping them out. So that is something that also resonates with them. But then if you see the overall way in which the Muslims will vote for, they have always been a strong supporter of the UDF, and though they might, you might see a few of them defecting towards the LDF, but most of them will be with the UDF, unlike the Christians who this time around have seen some hope within the BJP because of issues like love jihad and other things that the BJP has pushed forward, with the Prime Minister himself coming and meeting strong BJP, strong Christian leaders. So you might see a little bit of shift from the Christian community towards the BJP, but that also will not be significant enough for them to dent the vote bank of both these parties. So ideally speaking, the Christians and the Muslims are still with the UDF, with a few of them in the Christian community siding with the BJP, and a few within the Muslim community siding with the LDF.
Very quickly to Thoya. Thoya, I asked you, who has the lead. You said that right now Congress is trying its best. So I reframe the question to you. What is stopping Congress reinvention in Puducherry?
Well, Karthikeya, for the past few months now, that during the selection of the candidates also, they took a lot of time, because the internal party issues were quite a lot, because the people inside the party, they themselves had a lot of issues. Not only that, when we talk about the DMK and Congress, that alliance had a lot of issues going on in Puducherry. Not only in Puducherry, when we talk about Tamil Nadu also, they had several issues, because let me point out one thing. In Tamil Nadu, where the Congress asked the DMK government a share in power, but in Puducherry, the Congress and DMK, they are having several internal party issues. They are fighting among themselves, and that is the thing, they are losing their hope in, coming back to power, because when we see the last term and this NR Congress, BJP, AIDMK, who has a strong hold in Puducherry, as of now also, it is expected that again CM N. Ragaswamy might come back to power. That's what it says. When we talk about the constituencies where NR Congress and Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, they have a strong hold in rural Puducherry belt, parts of Karaikal, whereas they have like welfare dependent constituencies, and when you talk about the Congress, they are having a strong belt in the Karaikal constituency. So when we talk
DMK, I understand that DMK and Congress have had issues. Look at Tamil Nadu, Manikam Tagore is not campaigning. There is a faction within the Congress, Puducherry, Tamil Nadu combined, which feels that the DMK has not been straight with them. But there's another faction, and Karthi Chidambaram in his interview very categorically said that we need to understand there are places we are number 3, number 4, number 5, and we pair with DMK, we become a winning combination. On our own, we have no winning combination. But there are ambitious people like Manikam, they have a different take on it. But coming back to a bypoll, Gautam, why is that bypoll important, And for whom it is important in the Congress party? I think that's the real question. Who will it affect? DK Shiv Kumar or the CM?
It's a prestige battle for Congress, basically.
No. For whom? CM or DK? Who's running the show?
It's more for the chief minister, obviously, because it
Not
gives
DK.
him a pedestal for Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, because it gives them pedestal. Already I have 140 MLAs with me. If I'm going to add a couple more here, so this is on the back of me itself. And keep in mind, with regard to the campaigning as well, it's been Siddaramaiah who's been more visible in the campaigns in both Davangere and Bagalkot constituencies that has been going on there. And he's made his presence known, whereas DK Shivakumar, he was present more in Assam and he was campaigning there. So it becomes mainly about the Muslim votes there. And given the fact that he identifies himself as the Ahinda leader, the undisputed leader of the minorities, the Dalits, the backward classes. So this 2 seats, the majority of the electorate comes from this particular background, and it will be a major victory for them. And it will basically help him to basically say that I'm here to stay, and I've basically helped the Congress add a couple more seats here, Karthik.